Long, long ago, even before the pyramids of Egypt were built, the roots of what would become one of the world's greatest civilizations were already growing along the banks of two mighty rivers, the Yellow River and the Yangtze River, in what is now modern-day China. This was the birthplace of ancient Chinese civilization, a place where farming began, where people built villages, and where legends say the first great leaders were chosen not by force, but for their wisdom and kindness. The earliest known ancestors of humans in China date back more than 7 million years, like the Yuanmou man and the more famous Peking man, who lived in caves and used stone tools to hunt and survive. But the real spark of Chinese civilization began around 10,000 years ago, during the Neolithic period, when people learned to grow rice and millet, domesticate animals, and live together in small communities. These early farmers and craftsmen gave rise to many fascinating cultures, such as the Yangshao and Longshan, who made colorful pottery, built houses out of mud and timber, and even began using symbols that some believe may have been the first step toward writing. Over time, these small communities grew into larger, more organized societies. By around 2070 BCE, stories began to tell of the Xia Dynasty, believed by Chinese tradition to be the first ruling dynasty. Though modern historians still debate whether it truly existed, archaeological discoveries at a place called Erlitou suggest that powerful kingdoms were already forming, complete with palaces, bronze tools, and evidence of rulers who performed sacred rituals to connect with the heavens. The first fully documented dynasty was the Shang Dynasty. Beginning around 1600 BCE, the Shang people created magnificent bronze vessels, worshipped their ancestors through complex rituals, and most amazingly began writing with characters carved onto animal bones and turtle shells. These oracle bones are some of the earliest evidence of Chinese writing and show that the Shang kings believed in communicating with the gods to guide their decisions. Their cities were strong, their armies well-trained, and their bronze work among the most beautiful the ancient world had ever seen. After the Shang came the powerful Zhou Dynasty, which introduced one of the most important ideas in Chinese history, the mandate of heaven. Just rulers got approved. If he became cruel or selfish, the heavens would take their blessing away and allow a new ruler to rise. This idea shaped Chinese politics for thousands of years, but peace didn't last forever. The Zhou rulers lost control of many regions, and China entered a time of division and war, known as the Spring and Autumn and Warring States periods. Though this was a chaotic era, it was also a time of brilliant ideas. Wise thinkers like Confucius, Laozi, and Sun Tzu wrote teachings that would influence not only China, but the entire world. Confucianism taught people to honor their parents, respect elders, and live with kindness and fairness. Taoism, on the other hand, encouraged people to live simply and in harmony with nature. These ideas became the heart of Chinese culture. In 221 BCE, a powerful king named Yingzheng from the state of Qin finally ended the centuries of war. He declared himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. He was determined to unite all the lands under one rule, and he did. He built roads, standardized weights and writing, and even began the first version of the Great Wall to protect China from invaders. To guard his tomb, he created the famous Terracotta army, thousands of life-size clay soldiers standing watch for eternity. Though the Qin dynasty was short-lived, it was followed by the Han Dynasty, which brought a golden age of peace, learning, and invention. Under the Han, China grew larger, richer, and more connected to the world. Trade flourished along the Silk Road, a vast network of roads stretching all the way to Europe, where silk, spices, and ideas flowed. The Han also embraced Confucianism as the official philosophy of the empire and built schools to train wise leaders. During this time, the Chinese invented paper, improved medicine, and created maps and star charts that amazed even their neighbors. But, as in many great stories, no empire lasts forever. The Han eventually fell, and China broke apart into smaller kingdoms once more. But the legacy of those early dynasties lived on in the language, the customs, the buildings, and the values of the Chinese people. So, what makes ancient China so fascinating for young readers and future historians? It's not just the impressive walls or the shimmering silk. It's the people, farmers, emperors, warriors, scholars, and the incredible ideas they gave the world. It's the story of how a civilization that started with simple villages along riverbanks grew into one of the most influential and long-lasting cultures on Earth. The story of ancient China is not just about the past, it's also a living tale, one that still shapes the way people think, live, and dream today. And the best part? There are still many secrets buried under the soil and hidden in scrolls, just waiting for curious minds to discover them. So keep exploring, because history, like adventure, never truly ends.